He took off all his clothes and was kicking, hitting, pulling hair, attempting to bite. It's not clear whether that was members of staff or other students or both. I'm waiting for an answer on that. He was really upset and crying afterwards. Hello folks and welcome to another weekly vlog. You join me just after lunch on Monday. It has been a very long morning already. I stayed up until... Don't let her hear this. I stayed up until 2 AM watching the first half of the Royal Rumble and editing last week's weekly vlog. I then had to get up at normal time because Anna was at work, so I had to get Andy ready for school. So I watched the second half of the Royal Rumble. Whilst finishing off the editing from yesterday, I've then made a couple of Football Manager videos because I'm back into normal work again this week. And in fact, today's the first day since long before Christmas that I've made the videos that are coming out today. I'd got a week ahead before I had my week of not making videos last week, but now it's back into tight turnaround times again. But I've got those rendering now. One of them's uploading, ready to come out. As you can see, Anna has been collected from work, complete with new Fitbit, by the way. Do you want to show everybody your new Fitbit? After the magical exploding Fitbit from last week or the week before? So there you go, there's the inside of Anna's previous Fitbit. Interestingly, she's not had to send that one back to be sent a new one for free. Yeah, I know, but what I'm thinking is I might contact them in a couple of weeks and say, my Fitbit exploded, and send them that one.
No, you have to have all the details.
I bought one.
Where is it?
In the garage. And we're about to head to the gym because it is nearly 1 o'clock, so we need to get a wriggle on really. So we'll be in there about an hour and then we need to get home in time for Andy to be home from school. So are you finished setting up your Fitbit?
Just about, yeah.
Let's go to the gymnasium. I don't know why you're so blurry. Apparently you're just a blurry person. There you are. Now we can go to the gym because you're not blurry anymore. Come on. Back home from the gym and somehow managed to faff in the house for exactly 5 minutes. So my special edition gingerbread tea has just finished brewing as well. I've got about an hour and a half until the shopping order comes to get everything uploaded that hasn't uploaded yet. I've got to do thumbnails and tags and descriptions and scheduling for 3 videos, the 2 Football Manager ones and the vlog. I need to plan tomorrow's videos. There's so much to do. Oh my word. And I've got a load of admin to get done as well. This is the last week we're doing Weight Watchers. So it's the last Weight Watchers shopping order that comes. So at some point this week I also need to plan a Slimming World menu for next week because next month's diet that we're trying is Slimming World. So expect to see probably later this week for you, I would imagine, the Weight Watchers video and results, so you can see how I got on, how much weight I lost, if I lost weight, and yeah, how easy it was to follow. And then we'll do the same with Slimming World next month. But for now, I need to get on with some work, so I'll say goodbye to you for a minute. And we have skipped a day. It is now Wednesday morning, Tuesday, just a complete write-off. Amy is off school, she's off school in again today. Andy had a little bit of an issue at school, a few tears at school. We don't really know why. We think it's because he's got really obsessed over the last couple of weeks with the Toys R Us that used to be in Peterborough, and it burned down. Like 6 months after it closed, arsonists got to it and burnt the front of it down, and he's found it on the internet and he's watching it a lot. And as soon as he got home yesterday, he was watching my old Never Too Old videos where I was doing toy hunts at Toys R Us, and I think for some reason it really upset him. So we think that's what the issue was at school, but they weren't entirely sure what it was either. He just had a few tears, and yeah, it was just a bit of a write-off day. So you know, need to see a bit of a write-off day, but we are back to normal today. Amy is still off school, but hopefully Andy will be all right again after. I mean, he seemed all right this morning. We're off to the gym now. We did go to the gym yesterday, even though it was a write-off day, so I am keeping my run going. But we've got Dave at the vet's for his final treatment later on. So it's not a treatment, they're scooping his ears out, I think. After he's had 2 weeks of antibiotic treatment, they're now just... No, he's been fine. They're now just doing the final scooping out to make sure everything is okay, and hopefully that's the end of that. But There's traffic everywhere.
Go that way.
Yeah, but there's roadworks. That's where the traffic lights are now. Our route to the gym is normally like a 12-minute drive, but there's 3 separate sets of roadworks between our house and the gym at the moment, which means if we go our normal route, it takes nearly 25 minutes. So we tried to come a different route this morning, and it seems like everyone else has had the same idea, and it's really busy. It's really busy this way as well. So, yay for us. Back from the gym and now in a little bit of a race against time to get today's first Football Manager video out by 4 o'clock, because I'm back. I need to get back to the point where I've got videos stacked up a few days in advance again. It does take a lot of the stress out of content creation, but returning home from the gym at like 10:15, obviously getting freshened up, ready to not stink out the garage, and we've got to take Dave to the vets at 11:45. I've just recorded the video. Luckily, I had done all of the in-betweeny bits last night. So that's me, that's not your computer. So I was ready to just sit down and record. So I've just recorded the video. It's now 5 to 11. I now need to get it edited together, which again, luckily, my Football Manager videos, minimal editing. I kind of edit in camera. If I make a mistake, I'll pause the recording and then restart, so that I know if there's a gap in the recording, I just need to chop out whatever the mistake was. But almost everything gets left in on these videos, so the editing process is relatively quick, but I do need to get it finished and rendering before 11:30, so that it's rendering while we're out at the vets, so when I get back I can get it uploaded. If it's not rendering before we go, it's almost certainly not going to be fully processed on YouTube and ready to go out at 4 o'clock, which is a problem. Managed to get it all done in time to get Dave to the vets. I want to keep calling it the dentists, and I don't know why. I keep saying dentists to Anna when I mean vets, but he's all fine. They just said he's got a little bit of wax in his ears now, but the infection is all gone. So that's the end of our weekly trips to the vet dentist with Dave, which is awesome. It's now lunchtime and then more work. So post-gym, long day of recording video. I've somehow got myself behind. I think I shouldn't have done the Civilization video that I did that came out on the gaming channel earlier in the week. I'm now at the point where it's Thursday, it's almost tea time. I need to go in and start making dinner soon. I think Andy's just pulled up in his bus outside, and I've still got to do tomorrow, both of tomorrow's Football Manager videos and the ones for the weekend as well, and I'm trying to get that done by 3 o'clock tomorrow. This is going to be a busy day tomorrow, but that's not why I've turned the camera on. We've had a phone call from Andy's school talking to us about the fact that he's been asleep there all afternoon, and he's apparently had afternoon naps there every day this week, apart from when he went to do his work experience at the food bank earlier in the week, and they've suggested we take him to the doctor to see if he's ill. And I've just sat here typing up a reply to him saying the reason he's sleeping at school is because he's figured out that he can sleep at school. If he asks to go to sleep, they let him. We've also noticed he's certainly not ill. In fact, here's some footage of him last night dancing. I can't play the music. I think it was a Taylor Swift song that he was dancing to, but we've got like 3 minutes of this. As soon as I'm back on social media, I'll probably stick it up as an Instagram IGTV thing, just so you can see it on there, because we're not monetized there, so it doesn't matter if it gets copyright strike stuff. He was completely happy and dancing and having a whale of a time. He's shown no signs at all of being ill here. I mean, he could have come down with some illness today. I'll check when I go in the house in a second, but I'm assuming he's still showing no signs at all of being ill. So I think it's just that he's figured out that he can sleep at school. So if he can sleep at school and then stay up late here, which is what he's been doing, he didn't go to sleep until 10:30 last night. So if he can stay up late here and then sleep at school and then sleep until 7:30, sleep at school, he's worked out a new system. So I've said to them, for the next week, let's just not let him sleep at school at all and see what happens. And I suggest he's going to start drifting back into earlier bedtimes again. But I'm going to go in the house now and check in, see. I mean, he might be ill. I might have just made a fool of myself by email. Dave, why have you got my t-shirt on? Oh, you get out of that bag as well. Dave has got one of my old t-shirts and he's wearing it like a jacket. Well, does it come off now?
He brings it to me.
On the top of what I was just talking about, absolutely no signs of illness at all. You alright, Andy?
Yeah.
He's
Mr. Bates.
Out with that.
just come in, completely normal, doing his completely normal things. Believe it or not,
Yeah, got his
not
phone.
very tired because he's been sleeping.
Right.
So yeah, he's fine. He's not ill.
Trousers.
He's fine. He's not ill at all. We just need
Well,
to
we should be good.
not let him be sleeping at school. You can have your dinner at 5 o'clock like normal.
He hadn't eaten either.
He's not eating at school either because he slept through lunch.
Oh, because he eats a lot here in the morning. He has 6 pieces of toast and like 5 bags of crisps. and now he wants his dinner.
If we seem like we're being oversensitive and over defensive to the situation, I refer you back to vlogs from about 2 years ago. We have to nip this kind of stuff in the bud as soon as there's any suggestion from any professional that we should be doing
Yes,
more.
master.
We
Yeah,
make
bloody
sure
bad,
that
yeah.
we bat it straight back and say, well, actually, no, we know what we're doing. This is what's happening. You need to do this, this, and this. And that's what we've done here. Are you finally getting on with some work now Andy is home?
I'm just doing SOPs.
SOPs?
Yeah.
What's
Maybe
SOPs?
Standard operating practices. Maybe fingerprint.
Because we all know what they are. An hour later, still no signs of poorliness. Watching his iPad whilst playing on his Switch. Seems absolutely fine. It is Friday, it's the middle of the afternoon, I've been to the gym, I've taken Anna to uni, Andy's gone off to school, and it is my final day of no social media and my final day of Weight Watchers. So watch this space for videos on both of those to see my full thoughts. But I will be back on social media by the time you're seeing this, and I will be doing Slimming World by the time you're seeing this, which has just cost me £80 to sign up for. £80, ridiculous. Just quickly, I have had an email back from school off the back of the Andy sleep issues yesterday. It's a difficult one because apparently, yes, he did sleep there yesterday afternoon, but he hasn't really been sleeping as much as we were led to believe he was. But he's asking everybody to sleep there. So we're just all going to keep an eye on it a little bit. We're going to deliberately not let him sleep during the day and see how it pans out. My worry is, and they've kind of said the same thing as well, it suggests his tolerance is dropping slightly, just like tolerance to doing stuff that he doesn't want to do, which is how he stopped going to school initially, way back when. I don't think we're close to that point at the moment, but he is a little bit more resistant to get ready in the morning. He is trying to negotiate with us to be allowed to sleep at school rather than get involved in the school activities, and it is specific to activities that he doesn't want to do. So he doesn't want to sleep on food bank day, and I do wonder if he's enjoying the work experience at the food bank so much that he's feeling less benefit out of school now. So we'll just keep an eye on the situation. I'm sure it'll be fine. We'll see how he is when he comes home today. But I am knees deep in loads of work. I'm waiting for a video to render, which is going to be another 5 minutes or so. I've still got like 3 more videos to make, and it is 2 o'clock. Andy's home in an hour and a half. I think I might be missing some deadlines today, and I've got nothing ready for the weekend yet either. So it's going to be a long night with the podcast and probably a couple of videos to record, which is a problem because the other new thing I'm starting for February tomorrow, in addition to Slimming World, is getting up at 5 a.m. every day. So maybe I can make the videos then. Andy is home.
Candy.
You're what?
The toy houses. You go watching Nottingham.
Nottingham? What about Nottingham?
Trams.
We're not going to Nottingham. I don't think. I don't know what Anna's promised him. She's not here. She's still at uni. He's home from school. He's had another challenging day, which I will talk to you about when he's not around, because I don't really want to talk about it in front of him. But no sleep, but some other little issues.
Do some of the luck.
He's having a few issues at school this week. No, there's no Zoomer today. Mummy's at uni. She's not going to come home and play that. He's trying to get us back into playing this game for him again, but now he's got his phone, he's got it on there so he can play it himself. But he doesn't want to. He just wants to watch us play it, but we don't really want to because it's like half an hour of literally just doing the same repetitive levels of a game where he sits there on his iPad, not really watching or engaging with it, but as soon as one of us stops, he doesn't like it. Clutching back at old routines, it links back in. Links back into the stuff that's going on with school. A few worrying signs. So, the Andy situation. Hold on, I need my phone for this to talk through exactly what's gone on at school today. This is why I didn't want to do it in front of him, because I don't want to encourage it, and I don't really want to talk about it in front of him. So if you're from the school, I'm not reading this. I'm just checking the details of what happened. So, fine this morning, but then this afternoon, he became very distressed. He took off all his clothes and was kicking, hitting, pulling hair, attempting to bite. It's not clear whether that was members of staff or other students or both. I'm waiting for an answer on that. He was really upset and crying afterwards. And just like with the sleep stuff earlier in the week, there's nothing obviously different about what's going on at school. He's going through the same routines he normally goes through. He's doing the same things with the same people. There's no obvious explanation for this is why he's having such a hard time at school at the moment. But the kicking, the biting, the screaming, the getting naked, these are all major warning signs for us, because these are the things that he was doing around about the time he just stopped going altogether. 3 years ago, is it 3 or 4 years ago now, when he first started refusing? I can't even remember off the future Kev will look it up and put it on the screen now, but it was a while ago, and he got to the point where he was pushing further and further with what he could get away with, like sleeping more, like refusing to take part in activities, and then all of a sudden, bam, just refused to get on the bus in the morning. So I'm a little bit worried we might be heading back in that direction. It is Andy's difficult time of the year. He always struggles when the days are shorter, there's less sunlight, he doesn't get woken up by the sun in the mornings. His worst moments have all been sort of January, February time in his life. So it might be that he's coming down with a little bit of poorliness, but he doesn't seem poorly. None of those behaviours are things that he's displaying at home. You saw yourself, he seems his normal self at home. We even had that clip from earlier in the week where he was dancing and happy and enjoying himself. So there's no obvious decline in his overall mood. I think he's just had enough of school at the moment, which I guess everyone goes through spells like that, but with Andy it does ring those alarm bells because of what's happened in the past. So I've spoken to the school and both the teacher and the deputy head. I've spoken to the social worker. We have got an appointment with CAMS in a couple of weeks during half term. So the conversation I've had with the social worker and the teacher was effectively along the lines of Andy's dose for his fluoxetine that he takes was set. I don't think it's been adjusted for a year. It might have had a slight adjustment, but he's on a dose for a much smaller child. He's put on probably 50 or 60 pounds, almost doubled his body weight since he was first prescribed the fluoxetine. So he's taking effectively a half dose. He's getting on for being a full-grown adult now, and he's still taking a dose for a 4.5 stone kid. So I think what we probably need to do is just up his meds. But the social worker agrees, the teacher agrees. They're going to put together some examples of behaviours that he's doing at school. Because obviously if we go to CAMS and say he's fine when he's with us, it's difficult for us to explain why we think he needs his dosage to increase. So we've asked the school to put together like a case for why he needs to have his medication reviewed. And then when we go there in a couple of weeks, we'll have a chat with them. And I expect his medication will be bumped up so it more accurately reflects his current weight, and hopefully that nips the problem in the bud. But yeah, it is. It's been a tough week. He's glad of the weekend. We're going out tomorrow. He's enjoying Adventure Saturdays, our new thing that we seem to have started doing. So that's good. It gives him a bit of variety at the weekends. So we'll see how he is over the weekend. We'll see how he is next week. But watch this space, because I don't think this is the last we've heard of this story over the next few weeks. It is Saturday and we are off on our Saturday adventure. Or at least we're trying to. We've been in the car about 5 minutes. Anna brought her sunglasses out but then has lost them and is now searching the car and the house. Any joy?
No, I had them in my hand.
Apparently she had them in her hand when she got in the car. Then when she went to put them on, they weren't in her hand anymore.
Get them, Andrew, they're down there.
We've found them. So today's adventure brings us to Huntingdon, which is a place about 45 minutes away from where we live at the moment, and it's potentially a place where this one might end up working when she finishes uni. And there's a couple of jobs here that she's looking at, so we've come here today for a couple of reasons. Firstly, just to give Anna a little bit of a feel of the town. Seems very dark. Just to give Anna a little bit of a feel of the town, but also see if it's somewhere we might potentially want to live after she graduates and starts work, because we're a one-car family. Her having to drive 45 minutes every day, although it's doable.
Yeah.
life would be a lot easier if we lived nearby where she was working. And obviously my work doesn't keep me anywhere particularly geographically, so we're just having a little look around, see what we think about the place. I've been here before. I used to work in a building behind this about 10-15 years ago for about 6 months. I've not been here since my last day working there, so I imagine the town's changed a lot since then, but we're gonna have a little look around. Andy wants to see if we can find some churches and maybe a lift or two, and we'll just have a little bit of an explore around Huntingdon. We've lost Anna already, I think. He's limping and we don't know why, so we're investigating his shoe situation. Huge early score for Huntingdon. Almost the first one we've seen is a comic shop. Yes, we're going in. That is an awesome little comic book shop and completely makes up for the fact that we had to try 3 different car parks before we could park anywhere because nowhere took a card. We did find one eventually, which is why we're a little bit out of the centre of town. But doing that led me here. So I'm happy. Anna's still in there because they've got Fallout Pops. She is actually buying pop vinyls as well. Cannot take that girl anywhere. I know I'm raving a lot about this comic shop, but I could even take Dave in there, which is amazing.
Hello. 1407.
What have you got there? Come on, let's show us what you got.
Nothing.
Well, firstly, before you walk off, dogs are welcome in this comic shop. I could bring Dave here on comic book day. So we have a mole miner and a rad toad. Still only a little bit further down the street than we were at the comic book shop, and Andy, still limping, and we don't know why, has spotted a church which looks locked, but obviously he's going to go and try the door anyway. No, it's locked, isn't it? Yeah, we can just have a little look around. It's now scoring some points on the Anna scorecard because they have a game, which where it is now does not have a game. We're not going in. See if they've got anything on the Switch that you might be interested in. Now, if you listen to our podcast, which you should, link is down in the description below, you'll already know what game Andy picked up in there, but as soon as he saw it, grabbed Lego City Undercover for the Switch. He loved it on the PlayStation and on the Wii U, I think, when it was out on that, and now got it on his Switch. Slight concern because he doesn't tend to like swapping game cartridges out, so he's going to have to take Goat Simulator out to play it. But are you happy with that?
Yes, I will.
You're going to swap the cartridges over
No.
and play Lego City on your Switch? Andy, is your foot okay? What's wrong with your foot? Andy,
Are you okay?
what's wrong with your foot?
Are you okay?
Come and wait out here. We can see it's hurting, but he can't tell us what about it is hurting. He could have stubbed his toe, he could have twisted his ankle, he could have a blister. I don't know what to do. He found a church, but more importantly, outside, kind of wish I smoked, so that I can vote for Batman, which is obviously the right answer.
Should we live there?
What, in that house next to the church?
No, they're not open. I don't think they're open today, Louise.
No.
No, it's not open today. Oh, we'll be finding another one.
Oh, looks like we're walking around the back. That is a proper limp he's got on there.
I know. But he's fine.
Well, no, he told me his foot hurts,
Oh, okay.
but I don't know what hurts about it.
I don't think we can go.
Andy, this is just the bins.
Laces.
We're investigating the foot
Look
situation.
at your foot. Hold. No.
Do we have
Where's
any
it hurt,
blisters or
baby?
anything?
Oh.
Oh, has he got a nail?
Yeah. He was biting last night. I told in the bath. I told him to stop. But
Yeah.
you've munched on your nail, haven't you?
Just to clarify, Andy always bites his nails off, fingers and toes, always has, refuses to let nail clippers anywhere near him. Ever since he's had teeth, he has kept his own nails short by biting them when they got too long, but it looks like he's gone a little bit too far on his big toe. So, you know how it gets sore when your nail goes back a little bit too far. So, not ideal, but not a major injury. And guess it does mean we probably won't be walking around for much longer though, because he does seem to be struggling a little bit with it. I think we probably are going to be cutting the trip short because he is really struggling, and we're just going to get him home. But he wants to go in a lift before we do, and I have no idea where there might be a lift. This way looks like it might be some kind of shopping centre, so I'm hoping if we head down here we might be able to find him a lift and then get him home. We found a TK Maxx. Are you happy now?
Yeah.
Excellent.
Here we are.
Despite a roaring success in TK Maxx, apparently one lift is not enough, because right at the start of the trip, this was the first car park we tried, which is a multi-storey with a lift in, where we couldn't pay with a card. And he's been fixated on this the whole time. So we're going to go in this one, aren't we?
Then Marks and Spencer's.
Marks and Spencer's, do we think they've got a lift as well?
Yeah.
Anna has snuck off to go to Superdrug to buy girly makeup things. So she gets out of lift duty.
Floor 0. Opening doors.
Let's go to that Marks and Spencer's.
We're going where? To Marks and Spencer's?
Yes, I will.
Okay, we're in the way.
Closing doors.
And Marks and Spencer's is out here somewhere. So he spotted that in addition to Marks and Spencer's, there's also Next. Plenty of lift options yet. No lift in Marks and Spencer's, just a very high ceiling. So one more to go. He's going to try Next, which does look like it has an upstairs. So I'm guessing there's going to be lift number 3 in here. So which one of the 3 was the best lift? Oh my word, not this one.
We head down.
Yeah, we go back down now.
The turquoise.
Yeah. That is not a nice sound. Do not press the alarm, Andy. This completes the riding up and down in lifts portion of this week's vlog. Was that good?
Yeah. We can have some more
Excellent.
of them.
We can have some more lifts another day, I'm sure.
2021.
At 2021, you want to come back next year?
Yeah.
Fair enough, I'm sure we can manage that. So despite us ending up in 4 different places on the search for lifts and going up and down in 3 of them, we're still back to the meeting spot before Anna's finished in one shop. How much makeup could she possibly have bought? How much stuff have you got in that bag?
I told you I needed a few. Do you want an underarm spray?
No?
Okay, because I bought one and I bought another one for Andy, so I'm going to spray for men.
Okay, that is a lot of stuff in there.
I told you I did.
Today we continue our run of going to different places for dinner with Andy, just to get him used to eating dinner at different places. It might just seem like an excuse for fat people to have nice dinners, which it sort of is, but we are both losing weight, so, you know, we can have our Saturday treat, but the thought behind it is it's all Disney prep and London prep. We've got like 4 days in London coming up later in the month with Andy, but our thinking is the more we take him to different places to eat more often, he's going to get used to eating slightly different foods from slightly different places and slightly different experiences. We don't want to take him to Frankie and Benny's, for example, 5 times in a row, because then he'll think all restaurants are Frankie and Benny's. Has he ripped his coat?
He hasn't ripped it, but it's ripped.
He's ripped his coat. So today we're going to Harvester, because we know they do chips and we'll probably do fish fingers and stuff for him. So to start, we have the usual plate of crisps and a little bit of salad and bread, which you can see on the bread he has made a start on whilst playing on his phone. Okay, this is quite an impressive feast. Anna, what on earth have you got there?
Some crisps.
Like an entire cow.
This is onion, mash and broccoli with sauce.
Nice. Andy's got a couple of, well, 3 fish fingers and some nice looking chips. I have gammon. And of course we've ruined the salad bar, which for Anna, who's still doing Weight Watchers, and me, who's now in Slimming World, it's pretty much all free food for the salad bar. So that's why we're ruining it. Fill up on the free stuff.
I've had 8 points.
Say that again.
I've only had 8 points.
And I came into today, my first day of Slimming World, I've only used 4 sins so far, which means I had another 31 to use on this meal. Challenge accepted. Is that good dinner?
I'm going to have a look at the fire danger.
There is no fire, Andy. I think I've mentioned on the vlog before, he's got the obsession with the Toys R Us in Peterborough that burnt down after it closed. He's convinced it's still on fire, I think. So we've said we'll drive past it, and I don't think we can get into the car park anymore. I think it's all fenced off.
But it's McDonald's, isn't it? You can sit.
Yeah. We're going to go and have a look and just show him it's not on fire.
I'm so full.
Yes, Mummy.
Yeah, that was some good food, wasn't it?
Fire is dangerous.
Didn't get close to finishing it all.
It was close on
Fire is dangerous, but it is not on fire anymore, Andy. It's just, I think this might be the root cause of why he's been so on edge, because he has been it's been an obsession for a couple of weeks now, hasn't it?
Well, he's not
This
had a
Toys R Us
good
fire.
have a Good Friday, did he?
No, but I've already told them about that.
Ah, okay.
Right, as you can see, it is not on fire.
We're going home.
Are you happy now?
Yeah.
Because if we have a look that way, that's where Toys R Us used to be. You can't see that it's all mangled up at the front. I'll find a picture on the internet and show you what it looks like now, but it's not on fire.
Let's go.
Yeah, so we don't need to worry.
Let's go home.
Let's go home. Well, it is Sunday. This one down here is now looking at driving lessons on her phone because she's just applied for her first graduate job, which after our trip to Huntingdon yesterday, we liked what we saw. The job is there, so she's applied for it. We have two options. If she, obviously, we can't assume she's going to get it. We'll see how it goes for it. It's the first one she's applied for, so getting her first job that she applies for is a bit of a long shot. I don't think anybody does that. I didn't even do that off the back of my degree, and I'm Kevin, as she says. Yeah. But I'm a planner, and we like to have stuff. We like to have our contingencies in place. So, if she were to get that job, we now know we'd be happy to move there. But if we decide not to move there, she needs to be able to drive there. So, next plan is get her through her driving test before she finishes her degree in like May time. If you pass your test before May, you can drive halfway to Disney.
No, I'm not. I can't drive in Europe, can you?
Of course you can.
Not the first 12 months, I don't think.
Really? Ah, well, you could do the bit in the UK, and I'll take over when we get to France. But yeah, she's now working on that now. And other than that, it's going to be a fairly chilled day for the rest of the day. I'm going to get caught up on some Civilization and play some Football Manager. And Andy insisted after yesterday, he actually said on the way home, when we were in the car after we left Toys R Us, he said to us, Sunday at home. He just wanted a day just at home with his stuff, doing his own thing. So we're not going to push to do anything exciting or interesting today. So I think we're probably going to wrap this vlog up here, because it means I can make a start on editing it this afternoon rather than waiting for Monday morning, which works for me as well. So if you have enjoyed this week's vlog, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for us. Keep an eye on the channel for the rest of the week as well, because if all goes to plan, coming up this week, I've got the Month on Weight Watchers video and my office makeover video both coming out this week. I don't know when exactly yet, because they're both quite big videos that are going to need a lot of work, but I'm excited about both of them, so make sure you keep an eye on them. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on them. Get your notifications on so you know when they're coming. And thank you very much for watching.
Well done.
Thank you.